Today I received the interim report of the Queensland Floods Commission of Inquiry. This report is a wide-ranging examination of the preparedness and the response in last summer's disasters. The devastating floods that swept across Queensland left lives wrecked behind them, and we've got an obligation to understand fully where we could have done better, what worked well and what we need to do more of in future. This report lists 175 recommendations. 104 of those go directly to the responsibilities of the state government, while the remainder are shared between federal and local councils. What we know is that this report gives us some very clear pointers to things we can do, practical steps we can take to be better prepared for any disaster we might have in the future, including potentially for this wet season. I want to thank the Commission for meeting the deadline, because if we didn't have this report, this interim report in time, we may not have been able to get things in place for the next wet season. I particularly want to thank those people who came and gave evidence that meant reliving some very painful and traumatic experiences. Their willingness to do that has helped us all to understand this process and this disaster much better. I didn't want to leave any stone unturned when it came to answering the questions that many people have about these floods, and the Commission has certainly made some very sobering recommendations and findings. There are criticisms there of all levels of government, things we could all do better in future. I want to take a moment to pay tribute to all those people who helped us out there on the front line. I think in all of my observations that we were served by the finest and the bravest, people working to the absolute capacity of their ability. But we would be missing a great opportunity if we didn't examine very carefully the things that we could improve on, and that's what this report does. I take on board those criticisms that have been made, and I give this commitment we will be implementing all of the recommendations that relate to state government agencies and state government responsibilities, and those that require implementation before the next wet season will be implemented. If you're interested in this report, if you want to know more, if you want to find out what the report has to say about your local area and the experience that you and your community had during these disasters, the full report is now available on my website. Please go and have a look. I'd be interested in knowing your views.